All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. Thank you for coming to watch another video. This video, we are going to talk about Gervonta Davis's response to Devin Haney. Absolutely funny, and also his camp's prediction that we ain't gonna have to worry about a Haney fight because he ain't beating George Kambosis. Let's talk about that in this video. This video is brought to you by Boxing Showtimes, a new professional boxing schedule in your pocket. It helps you to keep updated on boxing events and details. Also assists you when you want to find bars near you to watch fights, and allows you to set reminders for upcoming fights. Download the Boxing Showtimes for your smartphone and your tablet. Thank you again to our newest sponsors, Boxing Showtimes. All right, welcome back. It's your boy Fanon. Let's do this again. Talk about this lightweight division. Very, very entertaining subject to me because there is so much passion on every side of this particular issue. You have three fighters that we're going to talk about in this video. One is George Kambosis, who is the WBA, the WBC franchise, the IBF, and the WBO champion. The other is Gervonta Tank Davis, who is the WBA regular champion. And the third is Devin the Dream Haney, who is the WBC champion at 135 pounds. As we all know, there's two major events going on in the lightweight division. One is related to a fight that is going to be taking place in June. June 4th, I do believe, is the date. Sydney, Australia, or is it Sydney or Melbourne? Wherever the case is, I'm not going over there. However, it's going to be over there in Australia. And that is the fight an undisputed title fight between Devin Haney and George Kambosis. And the other major issue that has taken place is Gervonta Tank Davis and his relationship with Mayweather Promotions, and the high likelihood that he will become a free agent after he beats Rolly Romero in a fight that should be taking place, if I recall correctly, May 14th. So the first fight that actually is going to take place is Gervonta versus Rolly, and then after that will be Devin Haney versus George Kambosis. Well, in the midst of a email rant that Gervonta Davis was going through, he says something to the effect of, now that I'm leaving Mayweather, you guys want to act like Devin, the email champion, is your guy now, right? Also, there's been words out of his camp, guys that are related in his camp, won't say who they are, but people should know who they are, come by all the time into the chat. But I don't want to put it on them specifically so y'all don't go harass them. Was saying, look, man, it does not even matter what happens with any type of conversation going past Devin Haney and Gervonta Tank Davis, because George Kambosis is going to beat Devin Haney any way it goes. And then the question will be whether or not George Kambosis is going to fight Gervonta Tank Davis, and who Gervonta Tank Davis will be fighting with when the fight is made. Now, as far as who he's going to be fighting with, Gervonta Davis sounded very, very stern in his last emails that no matter what the case is, he's out the door with Mayweather Promotions. So he's going to be out of their hair. I don't know what that means as far as who he's going to sign with, because honestly, he has a Gervonta Tank Davis, a GTD Promotions, and already has a very solid relationship with Al Heyman and the PBC. So it really seems to me that, all Gervonta Davis would probably be doing is stripping off the Floyd Mayweather Jr. banner from his promotions, having his own promotion, having his own promotional name at the forefront, and pretty much working with all the same people, with the exception of maybe Leonard Ellerby. Because even in a situation where people are not signed with Floyd Mayweather Jr., Leonard Ellerby and Mayweather Promotions seemed to be involved in several of those fights as a participating promoter. But whatever the case is, they're pretty stern, saying, look, whatever way we go, the guy that more than likely we would be in a position to fight or looking to fight is going to be George Kambosis and not the email champion email champion Devin Haney. Now, for me, I think that is just clearly a spit in the face of Devin Haney. I don't think there's any other way to say it. That is pretty much what everybody else has called Devin Haney, an email champion. And the reason that they called him an email champion is because he won. He didn't win the belt that he has in the ring. He won it when he was notified by Mauricio Suleiman that Vasily Lomachenko would be elevated. You can say dropped, elevated, whatever the case is. Vasily Lomachenko became the franchise champion, and therefore the WBC title became vacant. So Devin Haney received an email and was awarded the championship. But Gervonta Davis doesn't have, or at least his camp doesn't have, very much confidence in Devin Haney being able to beat George Kambosos. So they're like, look, it doesn't matter what you say because your boy's going to be gone anyway. Now, this is my take on the matter, and I think is a fair take on it. George Kambosos is a good fighter. I myself cannot tell you that I've seen him fight a lot of times. I saw the Lee Selby fight. I saw the Teofimo Lopez fight. I did see the Mickey Bay fight, and the Mickey Bay fight was competitive. The fight with Lee Selby was very competitive, and even the fight with Teofimo Lopez was a competitive fight with Teofimo Lopez. And I'm not sure whether or not it was the performance of Teofimo Lopez that led to that defeat, or maybe Teofimo Lopez being, maybe a little bit more hyped up than he should have been. But I just wonder whether or not it was just a big case of Teofimo Lopez underestimating him, and also, the combination of it being maybe a bad style for Teofimo Lopez. For Teofimo Lopez, because Teofimo Lopez had a difficult time against Tanaka, Nakatani, right? The very tall, rangy Japanese lightweight that he went the distance with, right? Had some difficulties in that fight. Got the win, but wasn't the best fight in the world for him. Also, he fought Richard Comey, but he caught Richard Comey pretty early. And so, and Richard Comey is also a come forward fighter that is going to be there to be hit. George Kambosos was significantly more tricky than Richard Comey was, and not nearly as long in the tooth as Richard Comey was, who also was kind of shop worn, I think, at the time. But whatever the case is, I do think that there is a definite legitimate worries about Devin Haney winning that fight because of the fact that the fight is taking place in Australia. The champion, George Kambosos, is going to be the hometown favorite. And Devin Haney, if the situation goes like many other boxing matches where you fight on the road, you're going to have to you're really going to have to dominate the guy on the road, to get either to silence the crowd, right, which can take the judges out of it, or to make, either or knock the guy out, which takes the crowd, takes the judges, takes the referees, takes everybody out of the equation if you knock the dude out, right? So Devin Haney, ever since he's really upped his competition level, has not gotten knockouts. He's won boxing matches, and I think won one-sided boxing matches. But if that fight winds up being anywhere close, there is a probability, or I won't say a probability. There is a chance that the decision will go to George Kambosos, at which point in time, the next logical fight for George Kambosos would be the only other person with a claim to a championship in that division, which is Gervonta Tank Davis. But it's just going to be really interesting to see how that plays out. I like the interaction between the fighters, because the interaction between the fighters increase the interest in the fight, right? Like I tell people in the live stream, most people that are Devin Haney fans won't, or I don't know, real Devin Haney fans watch the videos. The ones I think that are just out there, doing whatever, man, just reading the title and running with it, won't get this far to understand that, it's the conversation in boxing and opposing sides of an issue that really make boxing fun for a lot of fans, if you don't get too personal and too insulting with it or take it too far. But I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. I think Devin Haney's going to beat George Kambosos. Gervonta Tank Davis, I believe that he's going to stay with Al Heyman in the PBC, even if he's not, working on a day-to-day basis or under the banner of Floyd Mayweather Jr. But hopefully we get to see the fight and honestly and really let the best man win. If Devin Haney loses to George Kambosos, all I hope is that he really beats him, and it's not some scenario where, you know, there's some question about it, or, you know, a whole lot of people think it was a one-sided fight, but out of the blue, we get this decision that, you know, just really doesn't resonate right. You know, similar to what happened with Jeff Horn and Manny Pacquiao. There are a lot of people that cried robbery about that. I wasn't necessarily one of them. I thought the fight, you know, was a close fight that, you know, I could see why people would score for Manny Pacquiao. But, you know, since, again, and this is Manny Pacquiao on the road in Australia, you know, the whole crowd, everybody, the boxing association, even the people that literally are paying for the fight, which is the Australian government, want that man to win, you know? So anyway, we'll see what happens. You let me know what you think in the comment section. Thank you so much for your support in the channel. If you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell icon, leave a comment, hit a like, and with that, I'm out. Deuces.